I don't have the video editing software that I need yet. I want to load up an existing saved video in my video recorder, add video onto it at the end or in the middle, and save part of it or delete part of it, and then save it to the computer so that I can edit directly in my video recorder. Or I could just have a separate program that combines two videos, so I don't have to send a whole mess of files. But that is all you need. When I open my computer, I want to have a cell phone connected to a keyboard, like so, right? Connect this here cell phone to this here keyboard, fold it like this, right? Open it so I can type and see the keys like that, right? And all it's got to have is a number of files. You open up the little computer and you see the files. The files can be right in the command line prompt, and the text file can open with the command line prompt, and then that can have whatever order of videos you want. You can make reference to all the other video files and text files in one of the command line prompt text files, which can be a HTML or TXT file, and then you just save the new file straight to the top with the time signature, and that's the entire computer. Then you send the file to another computer at an HTTP or IP address, call the file up from an HTTP or IP address, and that's the entire computer that you need. The Android format is fine, except you want a chronological order in list form. And then you just want to load the program files, which are the applications in the video recorder. All the little buttons that you see in the video recorder can just be applications listed next to your files, right? Then you just have one big list of files. When you record a video, you save it with one of the applications on the computer, and it goes to the top of the command line scroll with the time signature, and you can send it wherever or delete it later. Then you open your computer and you have the history of your computer. I don't understand why this is complicated, or why in hell they got rid of the keyboard, which is how you're going to do all of the applications. Why do you want a touch screen? Touch screen is heavy and totally unnecessary. You just want to put the screen right on your keyboard like this and use it with your thumbs, obviously. The problem seems to be that there's some kind of issue with reconciling the sound that you get in these microphones with Asian letters. All of these phones that we use are made in China, because America would rather become a rentier state whose government is more interested in making sure everybody pays rent than in having an effective economic system that prioritizes communications. But that's the undead nature of Wall Street. Wall Street died sometime in 2009 and then came back as a foreign entity. Wall Street used to be an American thing. It used to be how America lent money to foreign countries to develop their industrial means. It kind of declined in the first decade of this millennium, and then came back as a foreign colonial imposition, which basically is trying to destroy the American political system and also create a neo-colonial Brahminical caste system in various Asian nations. But they are foreign. The Americans are right to perceive what is called the American Empire as a bunch of foreigners taking over Wall Street and Columbia University. Right now, the existing file format is fine. You just are going to have so many texts and so many videos. In the end, if you find a way to reconcile the Chinese, the Hebrew, and the Greek accent markers with the sound that you hear in these microphones, then you can return to a number of scrolls in a computer, and I can open my computer and see a number of scrolls next to each other with 5 individual images next to Chinese letters going down and Western, Latin, Greek, Hebrew letters going left to right. And then we can just have, images in text, and you can get an audio player to read the text and some kind of signature recognition to turn the audio into text and the video into some kind of descriptor so you can scan for it. Right now, all you hear me doing is tirades and political diatribes, um, because I'm not going to try to uh, show you the full breadth of my speculations uh, while the camera is on, and I have no ability to edit it because most of it is going to be just me sitting here um, making a lot of mistakes as I do. When I'm out in the world, you see me pretty much throwing down phrases like a card game. I don't really put a lot of stock in conversations. I find that by making a lot of mistakes in a convo in the street or at the store or at the bar or coffee shop or whatever mental asylum, I like to go to the movie theater. I find that by making more mistakes, I inoculate people, inure people to the idea that I'm going to throw down a lot of noise at you because it's kind of a game to me. I don't really expect anyone to speak precisely out in the world. Conversations in person in the flesh are so imprecise and basically idiotic compared to anything that you might say into one of these cameras or actually compose in writing that it really is idiotic to me to put any kind of stock in it. Even a congressional hearing, if you just had a quorum of committee people meet at the congressional hearing, set up a directory on a computer, and then they can make the opening uh, address of the committee hearing by the chairman can be made into a video. The questions can be loaded up as videos. Then you load those videos into the directory uh, at the committee website. Then the people answering the committee from wherever they are back in their towns in America can just make a video, send the video over, load it up into the directory, uh, and that can be how the procedure works. You don't need any kind of Zoom meeting. You just have to give it a little more time because you're not trying to go back and forth in person. Load the transcript into the directory with reference to the various videos when they were taken and when they were loaded up. Load your response to the question that the committee person asked, load it up into the directory, and then the chairman of the committee will make another video responding to it or asking another question of another witness. You don't need to have a running video call where you're shooting back and forth at each other like Kung Fu Voodoo warriors. We throw down a lot of ridiculous noise just to make it clear that, when I'm talking to you in person at the movie theater, I'm not expecting you to do anything. I'm not expecting you to take anything that I'm saying seriously until we can have an orderly discussion with a computer. I can't even talk to people out in the street, and I don't even try to say anything seriously. If we do anything out in the street at some kind of big tent Republican party, it's going to be the most basic safety, health and safety discussion, how to drive from here to over there, get from one mall to the other in a cab or in your car safely. It's going to be the most conservative Republican politics imaginable, because I'm not going to try to say anything complex out in the street. Everything works perfectly well with the format already established when these personal computers were invented. All you need is a file directory, which is to say at the web domain, right? So all you need is a separate computer for the committee with a time signature, and then you can load a break in the computer. It's the simplest thing in the world. You just, load the text with the catalog of the videos to break off the meeting and start another meeting the next day with a new text and a new opening remarks in a video. And then you have so many texts, so many videos loaded as files in the computer, and that's all you ever needed.